Hi everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Yarn Club experiment that I started. If you remember in my previous video, I talked about how I wanted to try doing yarn clubs. So this is the second part of that video where I have another installment of colors that I came up with. In the first video, I talked about some of the challenges that I ran into, and this batch kind of presented some challenges as well that I didn't foresee happening. But before I get into that, I'm going to talk about the inspiration for these colors. So if you remember in my first video, and if you haven't watched that, I encourage you to do that. I'll leave a link for that video. I used art and artists that inspire me as the inspiration for these colors. So the last video was Mary Pratt, who is a Canadian painter. And I chose another Canadian artist for this set of club, and his name is Claude Berge. Now, I'm not French, so I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but he was born in Montreal, and he spent most of his time there, between there and France. And what I love about his art is his use of color. His paintings are dramatically colorful and joyful and romantic, and I just love them. And it reminds me of kind of the way that I enjoy applying color myself. I love bold, vibrant colors in my dye work, which I view as an art in itself. And so his paintings really spoke to me. And I was first introduced to him as a teenager. I went to Montreal. A friend was getting married, and so I went to Montreal to attend his wedding. And on one of our trips exploring the cities, we were in Old Quebec City, just exploring some little galleries and shops. And that's where I, for the first time, was introduced to the work of Claude Berge, and it stuck with me. As a teenager, 16 years old, I never forgot his art, and then later on in life, I was able to discover more about him and learn about him. And so today, he still is an influence in my life, and I wanted to dedicate this series of colors to his work. So you can see me applying the color here, and as you can see, the color is very vibrant and bold. In fact, that's what you'll notice in all of these colors that I did in this video. I did a total of 4 colors, and I used a variety of his paintings as the inspiration. And I decided the method I was going to use that would really capture the colors that he used, because he just used so much. The colors are so bold and saturated. I thought the best method for me to use was just to simply use a striping method. very easy, very simple, where I would just pour the color in stripes, and that would give me the greatest control, so that the colors wouldn't come out all muddy, and so that, you know, each color would shine through and be nice and vibrant. I just thought that would be the best and easiest way to incorporate as much color as possible, just like his paintings. So that's what I was going for. And his paintings are moody, they're bold, they're vibrant. So I was hoping that that was the look I would achieve in the yarn that I came up with, and I think that's what happened. So I was very, very pleased with that. So now let's talk about a challenge that I didn't foresee coming. So the last batch of colors I had just finished and shipped out, so that was the first installment of my yarn club. And for the second installment, the way I wanted to do it was to give people at least a month or so to place an order, to choose the colors that they want, and then I would leave the listing up on my website, give enough time to get enough orders, because I was doing these as a pre-order. And then after the allotted time was up, then I would fill those orders. So I did not foresee that we would be moving. So shortly after I put the listing up for pre-order, circumstances happened that we had to move. And the move that we did was not a small one, it was major. So we actually moved out of province. So we are from Ontario, Canada, and we ended up moving to Alberta. So that was quite a big move, and it was quite involved in doing that. So unfortunately, I was not able to leave the listing up as long as I wanted, and because I didn't know when I would be able to dye the yarn, if enough orders came in, I didn't know when I would be able to fill those orders, because I didn't know when I would be set up to dye yarn again. So I thought the best thing would be just to cut the time short for that listing. So it ended up being just a couple weeks, and then I just filled the orders that I got. So it was a small order, and I think it was a little confusing for people, because in the information on the website, it did say that the listing would be up for a certain amount of time, and then suddenly that listing was down. And I wish I could have handled it better, but I didn't quite know how to do it. So it was confusing for people who wanted to place an order to have that listing suddenly taken down, but unfortunately it's what I had to do. So in this video, what you're actually seeing is me developing those colors. What I did was I researched some of the paintings, put together some resources that I wanted to use as inspiration, and then I kind of wrote out in detail the colors that I thought would work. I wrote down some dye recipes, as I refer to them, and then just flew by the seat of my pants. That is how I like to work. I don't like to plan things I don't like to be too strict with my plans. I like to leave room to improvise and make adjustments. I feel that that's the most creative thing. That's how I like to work, and that's what works best for me. So I kind of had a general idea of the colors I wanted to use, but then, the best way to come up with something that you're going to be happy with in the long run is to just start and see what happens. So that's what I did. I applied color. If I didn't like how the colors were blending together, or if I felt another color would work better, because sometimes you just can't tell until you actually see the dye hit the yarn and see how it reacts with other colors. So when I see that, then I make adjustments and just kind of go with what feels right. And usually, 9 times out of 10, I'm really happy with the results that I get. So as you're watching this video, I'm still not able to dye any yarn. I'm not set up for it. We are in our new location, in our new home, and we are just loving the area that we've moved to. We have been exploring. It is a beautiful province that we're in, and I know that in the future it's going to really inspire the work that I do. I'm so excited to be living here. During COVID, we did actually take a trip out west, and we spent the summer in BC, and we also did some sightseeing in Alberta on the way there, and we thought, boy, would it ever be nice to live in this part of the country. At that time, we had no idea that that would actually come true. So we're really happy to be here. The mountains are amazing. There are so many beautiful parks here. So I look forward to exploring and really being inspired by the beauty that's here. But for now, that's going to have to wait until I'm set up. So in the meantime, I have lots of yarn that I was able to dye before we moved. That's up in my shop. So I have a website, essenceofautumnyarn.com. That link will be in the description if you'd like to check out my website. I also opened an Etsy shop as well to share my work. The Etsy shop will have a limited amount of my yarn. I have several bases that I dye up for my website, but I'm going to really limit what I offer on Etsy. But I just thought it'd be another way. It's always good to diversify where you sell your products, especially in this economy. It's good not to have your eggs all in one basket. So I'm trying Etsy out. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I just started it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll at least give it a try for a year and see how that goes. So I'll leave the Etsy link as well. And you can see what I offer there on my Etsy shop. Also, as far as the yarn clubs go, I did plan to have 4 installments this year. It looks like I probably will not be able to do that. However, I have already designed the colors and planned those out and dyed up the samples for 2 other installments. And if it wasn't for the move, things would be going on as planned. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about those colors. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue to do clubs for this year as I planned, but I don't want those colors to go to waste because I was very happy with how they turned out. So I don't know. You'll have to see what I decide to do. I even filmed the dyeing process of those, so I would like to share those one day and hopefully talk to you about the artist that inspired those colors. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with those, but I will figure something out so that I can share those colors and make them public. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting. I really enjoy reading your comments. And those comments I enjoy them, and they're also very important for the growth of my channel. The more comments and interaction I get, the more my channel and videos are pushed out to other people so that my audience can grow. And in turn, it motivates me to put out more content. So I thank you so much to those who have supported my channel so far, and I encourage you to keep those comments and likes and shares coming in because they really help me out, and I appreciate it, and it just makes me want to make more videos for you. So it's win-win for everybody. So again, I want to thank you so much for watching. Again, like and subscribe if you wish. If you don't want to miss out on any of my content, share my content if you want to. And again, I'm going to say, like I always do, please leave some comments. I really do find them encouraging and inspiring as well. So until next time, thanks and bye.